All right, hello guys, welcome here, episode 107. I know we didn't update this on the sheet, but I believe it's 107. Um, we're
For
here.
sure.
We're here. Got through the Indy 500 on out of turn four. Jason and Marty got some pay-per-views to look forward to in Canada. Um,
Well, I mean, they weren't in Canada, but they were.
I was just saying to look ahead.
I know, that's true too.
So I got Ohio to look forward to. But yeah, we're counting down the days here until our trips happen. But
Oh yeah.
and we're getting into the summer, so it'll be fun. But before we begin, and before I turn it over to you, I just want to talk about this because I feel like even though it's an out of turn four thing that happened, I feel like it's just it could equally happen at a baseball game or any outdoor sporting event. So, I don't know if you saw, but at the Indy 500, a car flipped over. Kyle Kirkwood, his tire went over the screen there, or over the catch fence, missed the crowd, thankfully, and smacked the hood of a Chevy Malibu in the parking lot.
Crazy.
I'm not sure if you saw that video,
I did not.
but yeah, so I guess the biggest question I would ask, so what they did for her is they gave her a free chance to kiss the bricks, which is an iconic thing in Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But do you think that's enough, or do you think they should just give her like a future ticket to the Indy 500? Or
Uh, I think kissing the bricks is cool, but like I would want a new car.
I don't know about that. Like, I guess the bigger question is if your vehicle or your personal property was damaged at a sporting event, what would you do? Like, what would you want?
um,
Besides the car repair.
I don't know. I guess a ticket, maybe like a free ticket, kiss. Take some pictures and stuff like that. That typically you would have to spend like a lot of money for. I know it probably doesn't really cost a whole ton, but like still, I would probably want to take some pictures and get to do things that usually typically fans can't do. I guess in a
Yeah,
sense, I
yeah.
don't know.
I think I'd ask
It's
for a
really
picture.
like, oh yeah, I got to go out there and kiss that. I got to take pictures with guys that typically you can't meet. Like I don't know. That would be something I would do. Like, say like if I went to like a baseball or football game and somehow like a football went to the windshield or something like that, I'd be like,
Yeah.
well, first off, I want that ball autographed or something like that, and then like a ticket to like a game. I say it would make sense up for it. Yeah, it sucks that I gotta get that replaced, but I don't know. I guess
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think I'd just ask for, like, first off, an event as prestigious as the Indy 500. I mean, single biggest sporting event in a day. I think I'd be like, I want my ticket for next year. I think an infield pass. And in addition, I want to keep the tire that hit my car, and I want that driver to autograph it. And same thing with the baseball. If it happened in baseball, like Albert Pujols smashed a home run and it drilled my windshield, like, I mean, the event has to pay for it. I am pretty sure because the insurances. I mean, they have to have insurance for issues like that, especially if a
Yeah,
fan gets
oh,
hit, especially if a fan
right.
gets injured. So, but I think that's what I'd ask for. Um, and I guess we'll see what I feel like a kiss. I feel like kissing the bricks, iconic moment. A little bit of a slap to the face. That's just me, but I don't know. I figured I'd bring it up on this show because obviously there's instances where baseballs can go flying out, hit your personal property, that sort of thing. So it can relate to other sports. So that's why I wanted to talk about it before we started. With that, though, there is a little bit of anticipation. Of course, we got to talk about the Denver Nuggets in the NBA Finals, and for that, I'll let Jason take over with his takeaways.
Yeah, this one I kind of just like opened up my phone and just saw it today. Yeah, well, today being Saturday recording, I should say. Um, the Bills. This one was a little bit shaky. I know with everything that's going on with rumors of D Hop and all the other stuff. Well, unfortunately, I don't think that's going to be happening, as the Buffalo Bills are using whatever money they have left over in their hard cap to re-sign their defensive tackle Ed Oliver to a 4-year, $68 million extension. I guess I'm okay with it. I think Ed Oliver is starting to progress as a player. I know he's very inconsistent as a player, but he can still get at their quarterback. He can still get sacks. I think he's one of our better defensive tackles. I'm okay with the signing. I think it's a signing that needed to be done. Keep your group together. That's how you build off of, success, is keeping your core group together. And a lot of teams really don't do that. I think Buffalo Bills are very lucky to have kept a lot of the same players together to build off of that success. Yeah, maybe you could have done a little bit better. And there are guys that can help compete with him and come in as rotational players, like a Puna Ford could have gotten into that starting and or rotational spot. I like where I guess the Bills are going defensively. I mean, keeping the core together and being able to build off of success. I think that getting guys healthy, fully healthy, like Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, and Tre'Davious White is going to be a huge boost. Getting Von Miller back eventually, I don't know how soon. Possibly late week 6, as early as maybe week 2. Who knows?
He's still aiming for week 1 from what I read, so that could be
it'd be something. It'd be cool to see him ready for week 1, 9-11 against the Jets. Yeah, fortunately. I think the NFL should have really thought about that one, but I'll leave that as just on that note. But personally, Bills fan, I'm okay with the extension. Ed Oliver, I think he's somebody that can get mentored in the right way, somebody that is a core guy that can really come in and do his, what needs to be done on the defensive front. But do I think that they could have used that money in a different way? Definitely, of course. There's a lot of guys that we could have gotten that we passed up on because we don't have the money, and it sucks. Fortunately, that cap hit, that cap salary just it sucks sometimes. It really does. Can't get everybody. We let a lot of great players slide this off season, and really hope that Buffalo can do something with it going forward. So I wasn't going to take too much time with that one. I'm going to go into the next one. I didn't realize that there was another 8 seed that has made the NBA Finals. I thought maybe the Heat were going to be the first one. No, actually, they are the second 8 seeded team to make the NBA Finals. But it's been a while. The last time that's happened, Brian, was 1999. You remember Patrick Ewing? Yeah. He was the last 8 seeded player on the New York Knicks to make the NBA Finals.
This was back before he was a shitty coach at Georgetown.
But the only problem is that the Knicks didn't win the NBA Finals in 1999. I don't even recall who did. I think they lost. It wasn't the Bulls, because that 98 was the last year the Bulls won. I don't know who won 99, to be honest with you. I don't even recall who they played. But I know that they didn't win. But they had to fight, hard to be able to get to the NBA Finals in itself. They go 7 games against the number 1 seeded, or actually no, number 2 seeded team in the East, the Boston Celtics, who were the heavy favorites after Milwaukee got beat to make the NBA Finals. But fortunately, that didn't happen. Milwaukee was a heavy favorite to make the NBA Finals. They got beat, and I think in 5 games by the Miami Heat.
Oh, man.
So it'd be interesting. So I'm going to go kind of right into my third because it kind of ties into the next one.
Yeah.
Well, the Nuggets do take game 1. Miami only had 2 free throw attempts the whole entire game. You can't win games if you only attempt 2. I guess I get it. You know, Denver is a very great defensive team and a very good offensive team. Hence why, you know, they swept the Los Angeles Lakers like they did. But to be honest with you, are they the heavy favorites even after taking game 1?
I don't know. Like, you know, I feel like the way the Heat came back toward the end, I feel like the way that they kind of rebounded at least made it respectable. I feel like this is a series that could go 6 or 7 games, and I don't feel like, you know, I feel like the Nuggets might have taken the first one, but I feel like the Heat are going to be right in the thick of it going into the next few. So I don't think it's going to be a runaway by any stretch.
Right.
I mean, we know the Heat didn't shoot very well.
No, they did not, unfortunately. But I think there was a couple players that went like 1 for, I think they were like 1 for 7 or 1 for 8 or something like that. Their shooters did not shoot that very good at all. This whole entire team, the Nuggets were just basically demolishing the Heat in that game 1. No shit. You want to know why? Because the Nuggets had a hell of a lot more time than the Heat did to prepare for that first game.
Yeah.
That's why. They're a hell of a lot more fresher than the Miami Heat were. Because Miami only had, 2 days to prepare. Nuggets had, a solid week.
Exactly.
No crap they're going to be able to go out in game 1 and demolish the Heat. He had no time to prepare for that game at all. So I do agree that I think game 2 is going to be a lot different. You can't really judge a team off of 1 game, but it does weigh a heavy loss on the Heat going forward because Nuggets are now 3 games away from winning their franchise's first NBA title. So, but the thing is that can the Heat do the unthinkable, and can they be the first team in NBA history as an 8 seed to win the NBA Finals? It'd be crazy to see. I think that the Heat are that damn good that they could be the very first 8 seed to win it all.
Well, let's face it. The Heat have been in the most finals since 2006. Okay, so they're consistent, you know. And I looked that up. It was actually on SportsCenter the other day. The Heat have been in the most NBA finals since 2006.
That's crazy.
So,
2006, 2011, 2012, 2013,
2014, then 2020,
and then 2023. Yeah, I guess so.
So, and you know, look, they didn't get here by mistake. Okay, they got here with a team of reserve players, and this just keeps proving time and time again that Eric Spoelstra is the best coach in the NBA for a reason. Okay, it just keeps proving it every single time. So I do not rule them out in this.
He's going to keep on getting overlooked by Steve Kerr because Steve Kerr just, has guys like Klay Thompson and Steph Curry.
It's easy to look at that. But look at what Steve Kerr, we can't judge Steve Kerr unless he's not coaching Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Okay?
That's true.
We can't judge him unless that happens, okay? It's just like Greg Popovich. We judged him all these years, but he had Robinson as his coach. He had Robinson as his center. He had Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and look at what he's doing without him. He's not exactly, he absolutely deserves the respect as one of the greatest coaches in the history of the game, but is he the best coach? I wouldn't put him higher than Spoelstra right now, because look at what Spoelstra's done without that big three in Miami.
Right.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Don't rule out the Heat just yet. I'm not just saying this as a Heat fan. I'm saying this as someone who's watched Eric Spoelstra take teams that should have won only 20 games and they win like 40 or 39 or whatever.
I will say it definitely is nice to have an all-star and Jimmy Butler like he does too.
He had his worst playoff performance in game 1, which, I think he'll hold himself more accountable in game 2, in game 3.
Like again, understandable. They went 7 games against the Celtics, had like maybe a day and a half to prepare for the Nuggets. So I makes sense.
I'll be fair. Look, if they come out in game 2 and shit the bed tonight, because, this is premiering Sunday, Sunday night's the game. If they come out and shit the bed in game 2, I might be a little bit concerned.
Hit the panic button because
the
Nuggets just came off of a sweep. They can do it. They can easily. They can. I'm not gonna say easily, but they could do it again. If Nuggets go 2 games up, I would say you would had to be a little scared. I wouldn't say hit the panic button. I would say you had to be a little scared because this Nuggets team with Jokic and Murray, they're not exactly no laughing joke. And they don't just have them. They have Michael Porter Jr. and they also have Aaron Gordon. Yeah, Aaron Gordon, the same guy that won the dunk contest back in the day for Orlando. So we'll see. I mean, I think it's going to be a good series. I think it could go 6 or 7. I wouldn't be opposed to that. But then it could just go 4 or 5. Well, who knows? We don't know exactly what's going to happen until it happens. In that sense, I would like to see it being a series. Personally, I would be okay with either or. I think Butler deserves a ring, and so does Jokic. So I would be okay with any outcome, to be honest with you. Well, I would like to see the Nuggets a little bit more than the Heat, yes. But if it is somehow the Heat and make history, that would be something to see. Because then they talk about it, be like the Heat has made a history. Butler makes history, winning his first ring and being the first 8. Like he's gonna go. That's gonna be talked about for a while.
Yeah, and me. I don't care about the NBA. I can't stress that enough. But I mean, obviously, I'm a Heat fan. I want to see Spoelstra really cement that legacy that he has, and obviously see Pat Riley continue to, cement that legacy, that impact that he's had. But I'm not opposed to the Denver Nuggets winning it. So
that's what I'm saying. Like, honestly, I would be okay with either or. But as that is, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna send it over to Brian.
Speaking of good series, but I tell you, I feel so bad. I mean, we had such a good run here in Rochester. I love plugging the local sports teams when they're doing well onto the show because I think it's important to support the local minor league teams. Because, these players are the future of professional sports. And the Amherst, of course, another great year. I mean, Seth Appert has done an incredible job with this team. Unfortunately, they just fell in Game 6 at home versus Hershey. They only lost 1-0, but, man, I mean, this season was incredible. I can tell you just watching the videos, watching the games, and just seeing the photos, Jason, I have never seen in my lifetime this much support for the Rochester Americans.
I know. Like the other day that just keep on selling the places out
Yeah.
during these playoffs. I mean, that stadium was actually getting some great revenue because of these playoff games, and people were filling in the seats. 4 rounds in a row, filling in the seats.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good thing for the Blue Cross Arena. So, you always like to see it. You always like to see the people supporting the local teams going out, even if they're not super big hockey fans, still going out there and supporting, Rochester. It was a great sight to see. It sucks that it all ended. Hershey was just a better team in the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think that they got a lot further than I thought they were going to.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to see them go to the Calder Cup finals, but to get to the Eastern Conference finals, I think that's still
Mm-hmm.
great enough. To take a team like that to 6 games, I think that's an accomplishment. Now they have something to build off of, and hopefully can possibly get to the dance next year. It would be cool. I think you got the team that can do it.
Yeah.
Maybe get adds a few new pieces there just to be able to be better offensively and defensively. But honestly, I think you're in the right path.
Yeah, absolutely. And it says a lot about the Sabres, too, because if these guys are coming up almost winning championships in the minors, imagine what they're going to do in Buffalo when their time comes.
That's true too. I
So,
mean, hopefully they can help turn that Buffalo unlucky success into lucky success and probably get them going for the future. But honestly, at least the Amherst are in the right path, and
yeah.
hopefully can bring another championship to Rochester like they did
Yeah,
back in the day.
exactly. So, I can't wait to see what they do in the future. Definitely great series. And, congrats to the Hershey Bears on being I believe it's the Eastern Conference champs. They did a heck of a job, and I'm just glad we could compete with them in 6 games. To be honest, Amherst went further than anticipated. I can't say enough about it. So, but moving on, of course, we stay on the hockey path. Of course, the Vegas and the Florida Panthers series begins tonight or Saturday night on TNT. Last night, can both teams lose? That's my thoughts on it. Man, I don't like Florida. I don't like Vegas for Jack Eichel. But, man, you're making it so tough for me to root for either team.
Right.
No.
I mean, it would be cool to see Eichel win a ring. Something he probably was not going to get in Buffalo anytime soon.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, who's I guess the lesser of the two evils in this sense? The Florida Panthers or the Vegas Golden Knights.
Mm-hmm.
So personally, I can't really say much about it because I haven't really been following. I haven't really been watching. But personally, I guess it would be cool to see Vegas winning it, especially being such a younger, newer team. So
I'd love to see Vegas get there first, but to see Jack Eichel win, oh, man. I don't want to see that. I'm sorry. I just can't stomach it. And seeing Jack Eichel win a Stanley Cup. So, I have to respectfully disagree with you, obviously, for that reason. But, man. Like I said, I'm just not a fan of either team. That's why I'm paying a little bit more attention. That's why you saw I knew a little bit more about the NBA Finals to start out, because I'm like, man, that hockey series is making me want to watch the NBA Finals, and that's sad. But the good news, I guess, out of all this is one of these teams is going to get their first ever Stanley Cup, because Florida doesn't have one and Vegas doesn't have one. So we're going to get a new champion this year.
I do like when sports are like that, where it's like teams that haven't won it before facing off for it.
Yeah. I think it'll make it all the more entertaining, but unfortunately, I hope neither team wins it. That's the vote I'm in. So, but going off of hockey now, I do want to talk college football because I think this is huge. Oh, excuse me. But Deion Sanders, of course, keep in mind he just took over as the coach of the Colorado, I believe, Buffaloes. University of Colorado will get 2 primetime games, or 2 nationally televised games to open up the season. It was announced that they will be the first 2 weeks on Fox Big Noon Sunday, or Fox Big Noon Saturday, my mistake. Fox Big Noon Saturday to open up the college football season. Just great. You know, the Deion Sanders, the primetime effect. And, of course, hopefully Colorado does well with him as the coach.
Exactly. Hopefully. I mean,
And just to see Gus Johnson, I mean, calling Deion Sanders, Coach Primetime Sanders. I'm sorry, I can't do a Gus Johnson impersonation. Go watch Joey Molinaro. He's the one that can do that better.
honestly, I mean, hopefully you can help out Colorado in the right way. I mean, I don't know what kind of offense they would be running or defense that they would be running. I mean, I would assume that Deion Sanders can help, you know,
Hmm.
that defense out since he was a defensive guy in the NFL.
Yeah.
So,
I might just watch. I mean, you know, the two of us don't watch college football, obviously, but I might just have to watch it for Coach Prime. Like, that's just my thought on it. So, again, we'll see what happens. Gonna be a great season, I'm sure, with him. I don't have that high expectations because the Pac-12 is pretty rough once you get into USC and UCLA and all that. So, don't have much expectation, but we'll see what happens. We're on, though, to the next part. Tom Brady has officially doubled down, saying he's retired. There were rumors this week that he could come out of retirement and play for the Raiders as well as own them. Of course, he'd have to get a special waiver to do that. He's confirmed, nope, I'm staying retired. So,
well, it's because of that like new rule that like teams can have a third quarterback but not carry a roster spot.
hmm.
It's kind of like the San Fran rule, where San Fran lost all those quarterbacks and then had to use a four stringer and have them on the
Yeah.
roster. So now they're going to make it like where teams can have an emergency third quarterback just in case if
Hmm.
2 of them go down.
Yeah, understandable. So,
So that's the main reason why that those rumors were circling around, like, oh well, Tom Brady can play but not have a roster spot. Well, yeah, he's a minority owner of the Raiders, so like, I don't know about that one.
hmm.
I'm grateful that he's allowing the younger talent to kind of like showcase what they have for the future. That he's stepping away and staying stepped away. I hope he doesn't come back because you have a lot more like actually like you know live your life. You've done enough in the NFL. You won 7 championships. I don't think there's more for you to do. You know, he was saying like, oh, I saw Peyton retire. I saw other guys retire. It's my time to retire and let the younger talent, carry this game into the future. I'm like, good. It's about time you, you know, think it's time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah, so I'm telling you though, I still maintain this and I'm going to keep saying it. I'm not believing Tom Brady is retired until week 1 of the season starts and he's not on an NFL roster.
I don't know. We'll see.
Going into this next one, and man, you might either shake your head or be like, man, that's the truth. But Tyler Boyd insists that the Cincinnati Bengals would have beat the Kansas City Chiefs had he been healthy.
He's not all that great. He's not even like their top receiver either. It's T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. He's kind of like that third receiver. So why does he even think that? The only way I can think that he thinks that is because if he was out there, then he would, get some attention on the field away from Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. But the problem is that the Chiefs were just a better. I wouldn't say the better team, but like this, I don't know. It's not much I can say about that. Maybe
Tyler. Yeah.
if it wasn't for the damn refs, playing in Chiefs' favor, maybe you guys could have won and got to the Super Bowl. But
look, let's forget the ref argument for a second, because yes, that was a bullshit call. I still maintain that. But you guys would have won too, and won mightily, if you kept your mouth shut in the first place. Okay? They legit ran their mouths the whole week saying, oh, we're going to beat the Chiefs. It's Burrowhead. Like, dude, you've doused gasoline over a minor fire. No wonder you guys lost. So, I'm sorry. Like, I'd normally be in their corner, but
I know I hate the teams that are just that.
I mean,
like the Bengals are good and they're gonna be good for a while, but don't get cocky.
I mean, Tyler Boyd, just think before you speak, man. Like, that's all I'm gonna say.
I think he was a little salty. You want to say that if you weren't? You just got beat by a better team in the end of the day. I don't know what else to say. I mean,
man. But all right. Let's not give any more comments to ignorance. You got this week's Tinkle on this, so.
Well, I did share, post some, or not really post. I tagged Brian into a post. It was a video shown of Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask at OTAs, and everybody, they weren't able to complete any passes to their receivers at all. And these are the two quarterbacks that are competing to get the number one job for the Tampa Bay Bucks. I'm sorry, Tampa Bay fans, but you might have to hit the panic button on your quarterbacks, and it's going to be a big tinkle on this for that.
Yeah, oh my gosh. We talked about going to that Thursday night game, and man, I don't know. I don't think I want to spend that kind of money. I think the ticket should go further down.
I know, right? I get it. It's OTAs and stuff like that's going to happen, but I don't know. If you can't complete it to your receivers, and even if they're like nobodies, that's bad.
So, oh my gosh. No comment further on that. Just terrible, huh? And Trask sat behind Tom Brady for a season or two, so even more embarrassing. But
and Baker Mayfield wasn't even too bad with the Rams last year.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I mean, come on.
What's going to end up happening is Baker's going to be QB1, but they're going to tank. Like, there's just no question.
You would kind of have to, I feel like, in the sense. Tampa Bay is probably going to, try to go after that USC quarterback as much as, nobody wants to admit it. I think they're going to tank and get that guy. But unfortunately, not US, not a lot of USC quarterbacks, like Ohio State quarterbacks, do well in the NFL. So good luck, Tampa Bay. Have fun trying to find your quarterback of the future.
Yes.
Sorry that you got a very washed up quarterback in Tom Brady when he was at 40-something years old. So,
oh man, yeah. So with that, I do have a little bit of breaking news that just came out. I think within the last hour. Of course, going back to hockey, Mike Babcock has been hired as the new Columbus head coach. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is keep in mind Columbus has been a factory of sadness, much like the Sabres have been for the last few years. And Mike Babcock, of course, was the coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs a few years ago. And for those who don't know, the Maple Leafs this past year was the first time in like 20 or 30 years they made it past the first round of the playoffs. So maybe that's deserving of a tinkle on this as well, in a way.
I will say this now. I didn't specify this in my takeaways because I totally forgot about talking about it, but there are some new coaches, some familiar faces going to different teams. Frank Vogel is back in the NFL as an NBA coach.
Yep.
You remember him? The one that won the 2020 NBA Finals for the Lakers? Yeah, well, he's now the Suns head coach. Monty Williams is now with the Pistons. And Nick Nurse is now with the Philadelphia 76ers. Yeah. So the Raptors are the only team that is currently coachless right now. I don't know who. They apparently interviewed Steve. I think they interviewed Steve Nash for the opening.
Oh, my God.
Becky was part of the opening. You would have to go with Becky, but something tells me knowing the NBA, it's probably going to be Steve Nash that gets that job. And if so, that's what's wrong with the NBA. They don't want to trust these. I don't want to go into that conversation, but what's so wrong with having a female coach?
You see me shaking my head because we've talked on 2 years on this show that we've had it. 2 or 3 years that we've had this show, we've said Becky Hammon is the most qualified to be a head coach. But hey, let's keep sticking.
Las Vegas Aces. She just won an NBA or WNBA championship with them, and they're like right now undefeated in WNBA. Like, you mean to tell me that she's not qualified? If she can do that in WNBA, who's not to say that she can't do that in the NBA?
And she's filled in for Greg
Popovich as her main star in Las Vegas, but
man, you have no clue how frustrated I am with this, that she's still not a head coach. Like, what are we doing? Like, but hey, let's keep bringing back Mike D'Antoni. Let's keep bringing back Steve Nash. Let's keep bringing back, who was the one you said just got? Oh, Doc Rivers is another one. Let's keep bringing Doc Rivers back into the discussion.
Right.
Because
it wouldn't shock me if the Raptors even went after him.
There's a reason why when you become an NFL head coach, you only get like 2 or 3 chances. If you get fired at least 1 or 2 times, chances are you're never getting an NFL head coaching position again.
Right.
And if you are, you're going to be on a tight leash. So
I'm shocked that even Frank Vogel got a job. Like, he's been out of the NBA for a couple of years.
Frank Vogel hasn't earned a right to be an NBA head coach. He had 1 or 2 good years with the Indiana Pacers, and everyone's all like, oh, he's great, he's young, he's going to be the next Eric Spoelstra. No, he's not. Shut the fuck up, okay?
And then he won a championship with the Lakers, even though that, the bubble might have had a lot to do with that too. But hey.
Come on. Give me a break. But
how much did LeBron and Anthony Davis help you out a lot in that way too? I don't think it was really the coach. I think it was more so the players. Yeah. But hey, it is what it is. Because if this year had to say anything, Darvin Ham wasn't all that great of a head coach. But look he somehow took the 7-seeded Lakers to the Western Conference Finals, even though they got swept. But
another interesting development, because again, we're only 39 minutes in, so we got a little time to burn. Stephen A. Smith has told ESPN that he wants them to hire Shannon Sharp for First Take.
Dude, I would be all for that.
Man, keep in mind, Shannon Sharp has announced after the NBA Finals he will be leaving Fox.
I was just going to say.
Because for those who don't know, him and Skip Bayless have been kind of in a feud ever since the DeMar Hamlin incident. So this is, oh man, if that happens, Skip Bayless and Undisputed's going to get canceled within a year. Guaranteed.
It's just sad that he can't keep any co-stars because of just he never thinks he's wrong.
His own ego. That's why he can't keep them.
He's not even that great in, announcing about stuff at all. He doesn't sound very knowledgeable.
Stephen A?
No, not Stephen A. Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
He's not very knowledgeable about stuff at all.
The only thing he's good at is collecting Jordans. Because I will admit, his Jordan collection is phenomenal.
Oh, I believe it. But Shannon Sharp is a lot more knowledgeable about things than Skip Bayless is because he's been there, done that. He's played in the NFL before. He knows about stuff. So,
see, I'm gonna miss though.
He's a problem and not,
see,
the solution. No, that's bull crap.
See, I'm gonna miss Shannon going Skip. Instead, it's gonna be Steve. Stop it, Steve.
Honestly, I would be okay with Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp on first take. I think that them talking about stuff would be.
Might watch it.
I mean, first take with Stephen A. was great anyway. Like, even though Skip was on it, it was still an entertaining, awesome show to watch. Do I think that Max Kellerman's about as stupid as Skip? Yeah. But hey,
Kellerman's just not built for those kinds of shows, but I digress. But I figured that was interesting because I just read it. And again, we only had like 40 minutes into the show, but anyway, I guess now the biggest question is what's coming up on No Final Bell this week.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been reported by Tony Khan that he was going to announce a big announcement. AEW Collision, June 17th, is going to be in Chicago, Illinois. And the rumors started circulating, like, oh, what could this big announcement be? CM Punk is the big announcement. He will be officially coming back for Saturday Night Collision for AEW, which is AEW's new show for Saturdays. CM Punk officially, it will be coming back and will be on the show in Chicago, Illinois. Wow. I am starstruck. I knew that, the rumors were saying that he was going to be coming back. He wasn't canned. He was still part of the roster. He would have been back sooner, but he was dealing with injury. Wow. I am quite shocked that, I figured as soon as they made the announcement for Chicago, I'm pretty sure CM Punk is going to be coming back. Well, yeah, he is. So we'll be talking about that on the show, as well as talk about on the road to Forbidden Door. Yes, Brian did bring light to it. Marty and I will be there for the Saturday Collision show beforehand, and also Forbidden Door. So we got floor seats for Collision, and we were in 300 for Forbidden Door. So it's gonna be funny to go from being right in the action to being up higher, but hey, it doesn't matter. We'll still be there regardless and still having a good time.
Oh, man. Sorry. When we record this show, sometimes this is what I try to figure out what's coming up on Out of Turn 4. Because sometimes we're recording and there are races going on. Portland just happened for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And, oh my gosh, brawls happened, wrecks happened. Oh, this is going to be fun to digest. Chris Rice got into a fight. And if you don't know Chris Rice is like the president of Colleague Racing. And he's always the one, doing giveaways, telling people to smile, it's good for you. He got into a fight today. Oh my God. Dude, the stuff that happens in NASCAR is crazy. But we'll be talking NASCAR Portland and at Worldwide Technology Raceway. We'll also be talking IndyCar on the streets of downtown Detroit. for the first time in a long time. So this is going to be a fun week on Out of Turn 4, especially following up the Indy 500. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And, of course, again, no Chase Elliott today as well. Chase Elliott suspended for right-rearing Denny Hamlin headfirst into the wall. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Tune in to No Final Bell and Out of Turn 4 this week. We'll be back on Sunday here on this show. We will have a few more shows. Again, we'll tell you when the season's going to end real soon. But yeah, we'll be back on Sunday. Jason and I will be here. Jason's, of course, Toronto's coming up for him. I'll be going to Ohio for Out of Turn, well, not for Out of Turn 4, but I'll be going there for the race. For the IndyCar event. So that'll be at the end of this month going into 4th of July weekend. So if you're there and you watch the show, be sure to catch up with me. I can give you my full honest thoughts on racing and all that. But we want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Till then, goodbye everyone.